Welcome in, everybody. Oh, I'm off camera. Hello, good morning. Unexpectedly here. Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you. My baby's Army, Vicky, and Marie Curie, and whoever's watching in the bushes. Jerry Lynn, there you are. Good morning, my dear. I was going to wait. And Vicky, did I say you? Good morning, sweetie. But I didn't want to wait too long because there's more information on the Tepes. And somebody sent me a video that is also so fascinating. Good morning, YouTuber. And I didn't want to get behind on the case. Plus, I'm feeling a little better. I did not want to get behind on the case. So sorry for the the impromptu, I guess, because I told you yesterday I wouldn't be live today, but feeling a lot better. And boy, oh boy, how do you like the new intro? Just a little quick intro there that I did. Okay, let's watch, y'all, because this case, let me pull up my my sheet, because this case, there's some new information. Some new information that has an update. I was going to do a video today, I might still, on all the crazy things in this case. All the crazies. And this was one of them. This was one of them that now the police have come out and said they excuse me. Police have come out and said that this is not related to the case. So we're going to listen in. And so you missed the intro? Oh, no worries. Did anybody else watch it? You like it, Marie? Okay, I just thought shorter. Yeah. Leave a like. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, so this is crazy. This case is beyond crazy. All of you here have been following it. If you haven't been following it and you're joining the replay, go watch what we covered this week. Because this case is just wild. This just came out. This just came out by News Nation, and it's one of the details that are kind of crazy in this case that is being set straight. Let's watch.
Starting to feel a little like the days after Brian Koberger slipped into 1122 King Road and butchered 4 innocent kids 3 years ago. Because whoever murdered a popular dentist and his wife in Columbus, Ohio 10 days ago is a complete mystery and is still out there skulking
Thank you,
around
honey.
with
Thank
very
you.
little being said by police.
Thank you, everybody.
And that's just what Koberger did for about a month and a half before he was caught. So police did address that elephant in the room. Here's what Chief Elaine Bryant of the Columbus PD said to ABC News yesterday, quote, "I know it's frustrating for people. I know they want answers. As soon as we're able to provide more information, we will absolutely be coming back to talk about that. But right now, it's premature for us to be able to say what the motive is, or we don't have a suspect identified at this point." So no suspect yet, no motive. And that's exactly where we were at this point in the Koberger investigation. But eventually they did get their man. So do police in Columbus, Ohio have a handle on this case? Well, today they certainly cleared up something else. They are now firmly backing up the Tepe family members' claim that an unidentified female who called 911 from inside that house 9 months ago was in fact not Monique Tepe.
There you go.
Hi, this is 911. We just got a hang-up call. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're crying. Do you need police, paramedics, or anything?
No. I'm okay. I promise. I'm just emotional. I'm okay. I don't need nothing.
Well, can I ask what had you call 911 in the first place? Like, were you having an argument with somebody?
Me and my man got into it, but I'm okay. I promise.
Did anything ever get physical?
No.
You guys were just arguing, nobody hit each other?
Yes.
Okay. All right, man. Well, I have the information here. I can go ahead and tell the officers to cancel hitting over to your address there at 1411 North 4th Street.
Yes.
If anything changes, call us back.
Okay.
All right,
I'm
thank
sorry.
you.
So that's squared away. It officially was not Mo Tepe on the line, but if it wasn't her, who was it? Columbus police went even further today with a piece.
Okay, so we knew, from what the family had said, that this is not Monique Tepe. But the cops, good morning, Hope, sweetie. Good morning, Hope, sweetie. We've got a crazy update today. Somebody sent me a video. Thank you, Wendy. And we're going to go through some deep dives. A couple channels have done on this family, a deeper dive into Spencer himself and Monique's divorce and some crazy stuff. So that phone call, I was going to do a video on all the crazy things with this case, but the police commissioner has come out to say that video, as she's tried to conspiratorize. Let me try that again. She's tried to remove the conspiracies that some may suggest that this phone call is related, and come out and said that 911 call that was made in April was not Monique Tepe. That phone call in April was not Monique Tepe. So we're going to listen to the rest of this, but boy, oh boy, then we're going to get into some deep dives from some other channels and some things that they have discovered. You're not going to want to miss this. It's wild.
Of information that seems to add more questions than gives answers to this mystery. They confirmed that there have been no domestic phone calls coming from that house, and that there's been no history of 911 calls at all from this home. So how did detectives work these details into the investigation? How might this information help them track the killer? Joining me now is retired FBI agent Jennifer Koffendorfer, who served on a tactical SWAT team and even worked undercover during her time at the Bureau. Here is a question. Please don't think I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I can't help thinking about it. If it wasn't Mo Tepe now officially, is it possible that this was someone having an affair with Spencer, who was so distraught and angry that she came back and exacted vengeance? And is that a theory that police might actually be running down at this point?
Well, I think it's a logical theory, certainly nothing that we have heard substantiated from law enforcement, but you can bet they are going to run down who made that call, interview that woman, and find out what the details were surrounding that.
So no suspects, no motives. Day 10, I am getting, Koberger anxiety. Is that, are you feeling the same thing? Is it shades of BK?
It's shades, but this is the piece that really concerns me, Ash, is why in the world don't we have the FBI involved for the reason of offering to look at all that surveillance video? That chief said they're basically overwhelmed with that video. You need to get the Bureau in there to help with the review of that video.
I agree. Do you guys agree? We talked about that, not trying to be cruel to the sheriff, but the cops there seem a little bit old school arrogant. Just saying, just my opinion, and not calling in the FBI when you're admittingly overwhelmed. Do you think they should be calling the FBI in for some help? Because, it just seems like it's getting to the point now where it's concerning. We're going to learn another update here. Okay. Another update we're going to get here, on one of the things we were not sure about. We heard that other call that came in, that he got into the house, and then we're like, how did he get into the house? We're going to hear that call. Remember I said yesterday, I wonder if there's another 911 call we haven't heard. Well, sure enough, there is. So we're going to get answers to whether he got inside or he didn't get inside after this. This case is crazy.
It's a really good point, because I just assume, when you have something this mysterious and you're 10 days in, that the FBI has already been called. We also learned that the police admitted they went to the wrong house for the welfare check. So normally I would say, okay, so that's just a difference in minutes because someone else came and eventually the cops got there. But all those people who showed up at the house and were calling the police again to say, you got to get here, and the second round of cops that got to the house, well, there's footprints now everywhere. So could the killer's footprints be compromised now?
Absolutely, Ashley.
So we're going to actually welcome in everybody. We're going to get to that 911 call that we didn't hear until, we haven't heard yet. But yeah, they got inside. And have they now compromised the investigation? Yeah, absolutely, Vicky. Absolutely. The FBI has tools that could help them. Maybe they're closer than we think. just listen to the last 2 minutes here.
That actually cost almost an hour between response times. And remember, there was a friend who actually entered that house, called and reported on that second floor, seeing the Tepe, at least Dr. Tepe there. Very concerning. Whenever you go to a scene, you leave something, and whenever you depart, you take something. So it's a problem.
It's a problem.
Well, I'm still curious about that. I don't know that the friend got in the house. I'm trying to figure that out because his last line in the 911 call is, "I can't get any closer." And it just felt like he wasn't right there in the house or in the room where he would have seen Mo as well. So if he was outside the house, by the way, like, what is your thought on that? Because I've been going over it and over it. It's very, very hard to get a peek in that top window, but not impossible with that railing.
No, I was right there with you, Ash. I was going, what in the world? There's no way they could see in there on the ground. But then I think it was yesterday, it finally broke the they confirmed that actually the friend made it inside the house.
Confirmed.
Wonder why he said, "I just can't get closer." Maybe he was just scared. Who knows? But Jennifer Koffendorfer, I knew you'd have answers. Thank you so much for this. We'll see you again.
So confirmed.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your.
I made the mistake of going to the next screen. Yeah, so we didn't know for sure whether or not they got in. It was everybody was making, different statements, but it was all just assumption because we really didn't know whether or not they got in. Wow, you're going to want to watch this. This is really interesting. This one is also very interesting. Okay, let's pull this up. We get to watch the cop who didn't make it. Man, let's watch this. Plunder. Everybody, somebody sent me this. Wendy, thank you. This is wild. Shout out to Plunder. Give her credit here. Watch this. She pulls up, does amazing work. She pulls up this 911 call. Watch this.
Hey, listen closely. He's about to tell the child to go upstairs. Listen to that, the sound of footsteps. Now, did you hear that portion of the 911 call that Spencer Tepe's friend Alex Diddy made after he unfortunately saw his friend lying, not alive, in his bedroom or off the bed? I finally heard it last night. I had to sleep on it, listen over and over again.
Oh my God.
Now, police in Columbus, Ohio were actually not the ones who discovered Dr. Spencer Tepe. He was a 37-year-old dentist, and his 39-year-old wife, Monique Tepe. Unfortunately not alive, suffering gunshot wounds on the second floor, reportedly, of their home. It was December 30th. It wasn't police, it was Spencer's friend who found him. Now we're about to watch why police did not find him.
Yeah, I was made for loving you, baby, made for loving me.
In this
This is the video of the officer going to the house singing. It's kind of cute, kind of not cute, but this is an incredible deep dive, and we've got 2 more after this, so stay tuned. Today's wild.
Police, they gave me the body cam video. Columbus police have been pretty straightforward. They provided me today with this video, body cam video of the cop who actually went to the wrong house. And let's listen again also to that portion of Alex Diddy's 911 call that I heard that proves he was basically in the house. For this YouTube version of the video, I have removed the name of the female I hear him saying. He's speaking to, I don't know if it's an adult or a child with him. It sounds like a female name. I won't mention it here. I don't want to put it on YouTube, but if you do want to hear those raw audio calls, 4 raw audio files I received, and see this body cam video of the cop going to the wrong house and all the CAD files and incident reports and everything they gave me, go to my Patreon. It's at the link below.
Oh my God.
So in these 4 raw audio files, many of us have heard Spencer and Monique's friends or his coworkers calling police several times that morning, but we've heard edited, chopped up versions. I'm going to play most all of it for you, but of course I will drop, the cell phone numbers and stuff like that, so I won't dox anyone. But this portion that I heard was something new. It was after Alex obviously somehow made it into Monique and Spencer's home. And I got to tell you the truth, I do not blame him after the response they were getting with this officer accidentally going to 1417 instead of 1411. I don't blame them for going themselves and going in there. They could hear the children. They knew something was wrong. So listen again. You're going to hear Alex say, "Oh my God." And then he says a female name. I'll drop it out of there. And then he's saying, "Come downstairs, come stay downstairs." And it sounds like a little child is asking him a question. Oh, it's heartbreaking. She might be saying mommy or something like that. I don't know if he's talking to the Tepe's 4-year-old daughter, but the name he gives is not the name of their children. The names of the Tepe's children, they have been published in the memorial that came out, their obituary, but I won't say them here. But it sounds like the little girl says something to Alex, and then he says, "Yep." So I'll let you listen again real quick.
Oh my God.
So sadly, did you hear that voice of that little girl? She may have said mommy or some other question. It's way back. I boosted it as far as I can go. I might pull it into Final Cut Pro 10 or X, whatever, to see how much better I can make that sound.
There's a body inside?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on one second.
This is the version I've cleaned up with Final Cut Pro.
Let me get you on the line with the medic, okay? Stay on the line.
Another child speaking right there. He's about to tell the child to go downstairs.
Can you hear that? Come downstairs. So we get confirmation today. 2 things that we're curious about this case that we weren't sure on. Did the 911, did the employee get inside? Yes, this you can hear it now. He's talking to the daughter, to the little girl. Please come downstairs. And possibly why he says I can't go any further, because as Plunder's going to get into, perhaps he doesn't want to scare the child. He's trying to protect the child and saying little in that 911 call. And if you're just coming in now, we just started this off by showing that the police commissioners come out to say that that other 911 call that occurred from their residence, they've confirmed, was not made by Monique Spencer. So we're clarifying some of the crazy things about this case. We've got more for you. Today's going to be wild. We've got 2 other in-depth videos after this. Just keep watching.
Listen to that, the sound of footsteps. He's obviously inside. If police have said that the Tepes were found on the 2nd floor, which I assume is the top floor, I'm assuming the basement, 1st level, 2nd level. We know there are 3 levels to this home. This clears up so many questions we've had about how could he see a body from just the street level? And supposedly he looked in the windows and he didn't see anyone. No wonder. It clears up so much stuff. The officer was at a totally different home, a lot easier to knock on the front door, get in the backyard, look through those windows than it is the Tepe home, which is pretty, tall, pretty straight up. So, oh my goodness, I'm going to let you listen one more time. I want you to wear headphones, so I'll crank it the best I can.
There's a body inside?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on one second.
This is the version I've cleaned up with Final Cut Pro.
Let me get you on the line with the medic, okay? Stay on the line.
Another child speaking right there. He's about to tell the child to go downstairs. Listen to that, the sound of footsteps. So I'm not sure if Alex, he only lives 20 minutes away. And by the way, I'm not doxing him or anything. His name has been published in TMZ and many other publications. It's part of the public record of these 911 calls I received directly from police. So of course, I'm still going to edit out the parts that are too personal, like phone numbers and stuff. However, you will get to see the exact correct timeline because we will look at the date timestamps on the actual audio files. So it helped clear it up for me so much. Now I know not only why Alex, he wasn't being cagey, I won't say that, but why he didn't tell them he was in the house. I know why he said, there's a body, instead of saying, oh my goodness, Spencer's dead. And he never mentions Monique. So I don't know if he saw Monique at all Supposedly, allegedly, I haven't confirmed this part with police, but allegedly, I believe the Tepes were found together in the master bedroom. I don't know if a door was locked or open. You know, there's been so many snippets. I'm just going to tell you what I can confirm from these original raw files that I got.
So to those of you that are just coming in, the video that you're looking is the dash that the cops video, chest video cam of him going to the wrong house. Let's keep watching.
From police, because, you know, some people accuse others of, oh, you edited that or you changed this or that. If you want to hear all the raw stuff, it's over there on Patreon, you know, so no one can accuse, like I saw a different content creator being accused of, oh, you edited all that stuff or whatever. Anyway, the only thing I will do on YouTube is further redact what I believe would be doxing these people. I don't want to dox anyone. Okay, now I know why he was saying there's a body, there's a body. He was likely right in front of a child. Now, I don't know if he was in front of his own child, if he has a child, did he bring a child with him? He only lives 20 minutes away. I know his career is in AI and all that stuff, and maybe he works from home, but I don't know if he was, you know, daddy duty, as they call it. I don't know if he brought his own child, if he even has a child.
Thank you,
I don't know if he's
Marie.
married. I didn't even look into him that much. I'm just looking into his role here in terms of calling police. He lives 20 minutes away. That makes sense. He says he's a friend. He doesn't necessarily, I guess, work with Spencer. He's a friend. He was just with Spencer yesterday. You'll hear that. We're going to play it all in order. But I wanted to first pull out that snippet for you so you could hear it. He was probably right in front of a child. I hear a little girl speaking that might be Spencer and Monique's 4-year-old daughter, but I don't know who the name is, Alex said when he says, come downstairs. He's saying, oh my God, he's realizing what he's seeing. Come downstairs, come stay downstairs. So he is viewing at some point, somehow, I don't really know how the furniture would be set up or the master bedroom. I don't know if he made entry into the bedroom or if the door was open and you could see Spencer from down a hall. I have no idea. But obviously someone was with him. Someone with a name, to me, sounds like starts with a P. And it sounds like he's telling this female named person, come downstairs, come stay downstairs. It gets confusing. I don't know who was in there with him. Was it the neighbor? Allegedly, according to internet rumors, the people concerned about Spencer and Monique were able to potentially enter the home by using a code. You will hear on the 911 call, like we've heard, one of the people asking, I don't know, should I break the door down or what? Which, again, I don't blame them. I don't think they had to break a door down. Maybe they found a window open. I don't know how they got in. I don't know if a neighbor gave them a code. I don't know who this person is he's talking to. But by virtue of him saying, come on, the girl's name, let's go downstairs, come downstairs, it obviously lends credence to the fact that he was probably up on the second floor where the bodies were allegedly found. Maybe he only saw Spencer at that point. I have no evidence of him mentioning or seeing Monique at all. Seeing Spencer halfway off the bed or something like that, and obviously he saw blood. By him saying, let's go downstairs, of course, that means they were upstairs. Since police confirmed they were found on the second floor, this man was in the home on the second floor. You hear him saying it.
I mean, I don't blame them for wanting to go in because they probably were concerned that the police weren't getting there fast enough given the operator's response. And then sure enough, we learned that the police officer went to the wrong home. But I mean, we do have to consider now the contamination of the crime scene, which is horrible.
So they must have gone downstairs. You know, you hear other rumors, unconfirmed,
I know.
allegedly about food
I know, me
being
too,
placed out.
Marie.
Is that true? We don't know. This part, total speculation. I will always make it clear to you when I'm pushing in a little bit of rumors or speculation I've heard. Allegedly, supposedly, there was some type of food or something placed out, maybe on a table. Now, people don't know. Did the little 4-year-old girl awaken? I don't know what time she normally awakens. Did she awake that morning? Did she try and get herself some food and snacks? Or did the person responsible for doing this leave food out because they, quote unquote, cared about the welfare of the children? Obviously, whoever did this is sick and does not care about the children. But you know what I'm saying? It can give clues or hints. We'll have to wait for police to confirm that part. But again, I see why he said there's a body, because he knows he was being listened to. If you were there with...
What did she just say? Did she just say somebody left food out on the counter? What?
Cared about the welfare of the children. Morning, did she try and get herself some food and snacks? Or did the person responsible for doing this leave food out because they, quote unquote, cared about the welfare of the children? Obviously, whoever did this is sick and does not care about the children. But you know what I'm saying? It can give clues or hints. We'll have to wait for police to confirm that part. But again, I see why he said there's a body, because he knows he was being listened to. If you were there with this couple's 4-year-old daughter who obviously can understand what's being talked about, you don't want to blurt out, oh my goodness, Spencer and Monique are dead. There's blood. They've been shot, because that would obviously traumatize the little 4-year-old girl even more. You know, as Rob Misla has spoken out, he has said the kids, unfortunately, are blissfully unaware of what happened. So at a certain point, I don't know if they know now, of course, but obviously Alex was keeping the welfare of the child in his heart. He was being very cautious and careful with his words, and he wasn't blurting out anything perhaps that the child would understand. He didn't say, Spencer's dead, oh my goodness. He said, there's a body, there's a body. He was just with him. So all the assumptions, I don't know where it started, that Alex saw Spencer through the window is wrong. Sometimes people fill in things with their head for lack of information. I see it all the time, every day. Assumptions. You know, we heard the 911 call when they found the body. Alex did. Obviously, he was inside. I don't know why, you know, certain news orgs, maybe they didn't hear it.
Well, we didn't have confirmation, right? Like, nobody was jumping to the conclusion because we didn't have confirmation. Was it the family that did the terrible deed? I don't think so. I don't think so. But, you know, who knows? There was family reportedly there over the holidays, Cree Designs. So we don't really know. But we're going to get into some details on the past. Good morning. Nice to see you. We're going to get some details of the past that some deep divers have gone into. And we can talk about some of that in a little bit here. Just let's keep going, because this is interesting, because it's clarifying a lot of the points we were not sure of. So they did get inside, which raises a whole other problem. And if food was left out for the child, now that is disturbing.
That part where, oh my God, well, of course, some places they try, you mention God, they want to cut it out of everything. So the fact that he said God, and then that really part that gets quiet when he talks to whatever person that is with a female name and says, come downstairs, let's go downstairs. That part happened right after the, oh my God. And it was so low, you know, I had to like edit it and boost it up, you know, just to get that snippet. So having said all that, let's correct this timeline with the actual date timestamps from the files. Okay, so now we know 8:58, according to the actual date timestamp on the file. That's when Spencer's employer, Dr. Mark Valrose, he requested a welfare check, and you can hear him give like Spencer's height and weight, factors I don't remember hearing before. Of course, some stuff has to be cut supposedly for brevity, but I don't know, even with news channels, they're not on 30-minute segments anymore unless they're on network TV. So if they're on YouTube, why not just put it all in there? Okay, so that was 8:58. Let's listen to that whole thing again.
Columbus Police, Tech 107.
Yes, I would like to ask for a wellness check on an individual at their home.
What address?
It's 1411 North 4th Street, Columbus, 43201.
What's your name?
Mark, M-A-R-K, Valrose, V as in Victor, A-L-R-O-S-E.
Your phone number?
847.
Where are you calling from?
Well, I'm currently in the state of Florida. I'm on vacation, but this individual, Spencer, works with me, and he did not show up to work this morning, and we cannot get a hold of him or his family.
He didn't show up to work?
Correct.
Okay. Does he have medical problems or?
No, and he's been reliable, and we cannot get in touch with him, his wife, his family, anybody that lives in that house.
Okay. So
There's
you're
2
in
kids in the
Florida.
home. I'm in Florida. I own the business. I was informed by my employees that he was not at work, and he runs the office.
Okay. How old is Spencer?
Spencer is, I don't know, 36, I believe. 37.
What's his last name?
Tepe, T as in Thomas, E, P as in Paul, E, Tepe. Have you guys received anything else, like calls about him or like a car accident or anything like that?
No, sometimes people just don't show up to work. I mean, maybe he's sick, I don't know. But he's 36, his name's Spencer. Tepe. What's he look like? Is he white, black, Hispanic?
He's white. He's probably 6'2", blondish hair. Probably 185 pounds.
So did you receive information that he may have been involved in an accident or?
No, ma'am. I just know that he is he is always on time, and he would contact us if there was any issues whatsoever. And I just don't know how else to say this. Like, we're very, very concerned because this is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
Okay. We will send somebody over as soon as we have an officer available, okay?
Okay. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay. They gave me a 3.2 minute audio call for Dr. Valrose. So that was 3.2 minutes. So if it started at 8:58, let's say it was done before 9:02. So exactly 10 minutes later, let's say 9:12 a.m. is when Officer Troutman heads out. Only 10 minutes later, unfortunately, he ends up knocking on the wrong door, getting no answer. So you'll see the first minute of the video they gave me. Now, some stuff Columbus Police still won't give me, and we'll talk about the $750 worth of evidence. I don't even know if I'll purchase it. We'll see. We'll talk about that at the end. They black out the first minute of it. The audio and video starts soon, but Officer Troutman is checking on the well-being of the Tepes. From everything I can see, he was given the correct address. Now, you'll be watching him at about 9:12 a.m. responding to the call, checking on Monique and Spencer. And of course, it's in no way humorous, but he kind of makes me laugh. Not by going to the wrong house, but he's whistling, he's singing. You hear him counting addresses, 16, 23, 21, 19, before he gets to 14, 17, the wrong house. I don't know if he thought that was a 1.
Hey, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. So glad you're here with us on a Saturday morning. Decided to go live with this last minute because there's some incredible videos here today. After this one, we have 2 other deep dives you're not going to want to miss. Please help the algorithm. Just take the time to do a thumbs up for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. Welcome to the Motive.Means.Opportunity family. Sit back and enjoy today's show.
Radio 31. 31. This is 8A3752 North High, Winkle Green & Co. Drop this rear entry door, front motion, and rear motion detector.
No,
send that to me, please, sir. 31, I'll check that. 31, coming up, thank you, sir.
yeah, I was made for loving you, baby.
It's kind of funny, but not funny. I love listening to him sing. I love that this cop loves his job.
$61, 23, 21, 19.
Welcome in, everybody. Stick around. After this, we have 2 more deep dive videos to show you. Great stuff today.
you can clearly see the 1417 on this house in Columbus. It's hard to tell where he is. I was thinking, is he at 1417 North 4th Street? I'm like, when is the last time a Google Maps car drove down that street? I mean, they drive down my streets all the time, at least it seems like once a year, or if not Google Maps, other, map services taking current photos. I cannot find a current drive along photo, like if you're doing like a Google Maps drive, it's showing stuff from like 2015. I'm like, so what house did he go to? I don't know. Is that part of the problem? Like, what did his navigation say? Maybe he didn't use navigation. Maybe that's the problem, because he was looking like, okay, there's 16, there's 23, there's 21, there's 19, whatever. Hopefully that gets corrected. I know mistakes happen. I know he probably feels horrible about it, making a mistake like this. I wish Google Maps had some updated photos so I could verify what house, what exact address he went to incorrectly. On all the dispatch paperwork, everything I see, they gave him the 1411 to go to, but for some reason he went to the wrong house.
Unit 43. 30A 980 King, apartment 8, Genevieve.
Got it. Anybody home? Anybody home? Bert. Anybody home?
I mean, he really did a good job. He just went to the wrong house. It's too bad.
Oh, there we go. Anybody home?
Sorry, honey.
Well, here we go. College try. Art.
Anyway, at the end, you can see he knocks on the front door. I don't know how much he's looking around because, we can't necessarily see him, but we do see him look in a window. He goes to the side of the house and you can see his own reflection of Officer Troutman. He gets easily through that back gate. It's one of those that's like lifted up or whatever and go on back, and he's knocking on the back door. So Officer Troutman did do what he said he did in terms of knocking on the front door, looking through the windows, knocking on the back door. Unfortunately, he was just at the wrong house. People think, they were like, oh, was he lying? Did he actually knock on the front door and back door of Spencer and Monique's home? Because how would he have gone through the back? Did he walk all the way around in the alley and go through there? And people were wondering, how did he get to look through the windows? How could he even see? Well, now we know he was at a house that it was like lower and it wasn't as many stories, not as big. And so that's why. So at the end, he's like, well, gave it the good old college try, after whistling and singing and going to the backyard and knocking on the back door. I give them credit and kudos. Okay, 10 minutes later, after they got the first call from Dr. Valrose, they took it seriously, they responded, but he just didn't go to the right house, unfortunately. Oh, it's sad. So that was it. He goes, he's like, okay, I didn't see anything. I mean, of course, it's so casual. They get these wellness checks every day. Okay, so I'm looking right now. I'm in my editor. Here it is. I want to see when he leaves. His entire video, driving, the entire video they gave me for him is approximately 6 minutes long, even with the redactions. So with him leaving the station, I don't know when he turned it on. The station must be close, so wherever he was, must be close to the house. about 7 minutes total until he's leaving this home, the wrong home. So he turns off his body cam about 9:19 a.m. Okay, so 9:19 a.m., he's like, boop, gave it the good old college try. And again, he may seem flippant. However, I know they get these calls every day. Usually, I'm sure they're not expecting some double homicide happening with children alone there with Jesus in that house, having survived. Okay, so about 9:19 a.m., he turns off his body cam. He did the check. That's the time. So 9:19 a.m., he leaves. What is that? 40 minutes later, less than 40 minutes later, there's another man calling police. This only lasts about 48 seconds. So he's calling 911. He says he just got there 5 minutes ago. He didn't see the other cop. He was at the wrong place anyway, but he had just gotten there 5 minutes ago. This guy, whoever he is, arrived about 9:51 a.m. at the correct house. He says, there's no answer. I can hear kids inside. I swear I could hear one yell. I don't know if I should break the door in or what. I don't blame the friends at that point for getting inside the house because they've done what they were supposed to do. Dr. Valrose called at first. They did a welfare check. The friends still can't get in touch with Spencer or Monique. By now, it's almost 10 a.m. So it's like, wait a minute. Spencer should have been at work at least by 8 a.m. I don't even know what kind of appointments were scheduled, serious surgeries, root canals, who knows what he had going on. So by almost 10 a.m., I don't blame them for being a little bit freaked out, calling 911 like they were supposed to back to back.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
1411 North 4th Street, Columbus.
Okay, 1411?
1411, yep.
Okay, what's the emergency there? Police or medical?
Maybe both, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of doing the
wellness. We had a call out there. They knocked on the front door and back door multiple times, and there was no answer.
Yeah, no answer. I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell, but we can't get in. At this point, I don't know if I need to break the door in or just get in the house or what. So.
Okay, were you out there when the police was out there?
I wasn't. I just got here about 5 minutes ago.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll send them back out to you.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye.
At 9:58 a.m., this is where we hear a female coworker. She says her name is Cam, C-A-M. Some people heard it as Pam, and they're like, I don't see any Pam who works at that Athens Dental Depot, people go off the rails. She says Cam. I don't know who she is. Also, she's en route because they're like, wait a minute, your location isn't showing. And I didn't even know police dispatchers could do this. That's why I love technology. They're like, your location isn't showing that, you're at that house. And she's like, I'm en route. Our boss didn't report for work. Can't get a hold of him for like 3 hours. So I don't know if they normally talk to him at 7 a.m. or maybe she was just embellishing the urgency, but whatever. It's a good thing they cared.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
14 North 4th Street, Columbus, Ohio.
What's the location?
1411 North 4th Street.
Okay, what's the emergency there?
Our boss did not report for work. We haven't been able to get a hold of him for 3 hours. We are on site and we can hear.
Okay, I just talked to somebody there.
Okay, I'm just making sure somebody called.
Yeah, I just got a call from somebody and set it back up for dispatch.
Okay.
Are you there because you're not showing that you're at the
No,
location?
I'm en route there.
Okay, what is your name?
My name is Cam, C-A-M.
Okay, I'll let him know.
Okay, thank you so much.
Bye.
So that was the next one. Let's see how long her call was. So the man's call was 48 seconds and the woman's call came through only, a minute or two later at 9:58 a.m. She's en route. It's 50 seconds. So because they're like, look, we got the call already. Basically, why are you guys calling us so much? So I don't blame them. Even if they're speaking to each other, they probably don't trust, even though the police I'm sure would have come back out and they're saying, we checked, we didn't see anyone. They didn't know at that point they were at the wrong house. But I don't blame these friends for taking the matters into their own hands because they knew something was wrong. I'm sure they didn't know they were about to walk in on a double homicide scene. Of course, if they would have known that, maybe they would have never entered the house. But of course, they had the children's concern and welfare. If you go to your friend's house and you normally talk to your friend all the time, obviously Alex had just seen Spencer the day before. You're used to hanging out with them. They have young children. You can't get a hold of them for hours and this isn't like them. And then you hear their children inside the home potentially yelling. I don't know if they heard crying. We will hear crying. It's written in the CAD notes. It's written in the CAD notes I received. The operator, the dispatcher could hear a baby crying in the background. If all that's going on, I don't blame them for entering the home, even if it was a crime scene. You don't want to contaminate any evidence, but since this is different, they have children survive the crime. You want to get in there. So however he got in there, however Alex got in there, God bless him, God help him, God love him. I'm not going to assume that he removed any weapon, or I'm not going to assume he did anything illegal. He didn't tamper with anything.
I'm sure he didn't do anything to tamper with any evidence, but it does complicate the crime scene, regrettably, but I don't blame them either. I don't blame them either.
It sounds like he didn't even want to walk near Spencer's body.
I mean, the question remains, though, what did they know that we don't know that caused such concern? Was it literally like we hear in dentist's office, that it's just not common in a dentist office, and they knew his character and they seem like a very close-knit group at work? I'm leaning towards that, but maybe they also knew there was something else going on at home that we don't know yet.
I don't blame him. I didn't even want to see that gory stuff on TV when it's fake sometimes, let alone I can't imagine real life. That's why my hats are off to officers too, because I cannot imagine how they see that so often. 10:03 a.m. Alex Diddy, he sees a body. This is when they finally get serious. 10:03 a.m. It's the longest call. So whereas Dr. Valrose's call is originally 3 minutes, 12 seconds, the other ones are, 50 seconds and 47 seconds. By the time you get to Alex's call, it's 3 minutes, 14 seconds. Not only does he speak with the dispatcher, she transfers him to medic. And that's when we start to hear the children, and we hear that line that had been missed before, that he's telling someone, come on, let's go downstairs. Let's go downstairs. So this starts at 10:03 a.m. And this is where, again, I'll play the whole thing and drop out anything that's too personal. And then you can hear one more time him talking to someone, telling her, let's go downstairs.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
1411 North 4th.
Okay, 1411 North 4th. We've got several calls on that. What's changed since the last person I talked to?
There's a body.
There's a body inside?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me get you on the line with the medic, okay? Stay on the line.
So this part in the call, 10:04 a.m., the CAD notes say, can hear a baby crying in the background.
Stay on the line.
This is why Alex was saying stuff like, our friend, he appears dead. He's very aware. Now, the 1-year-old, even the 1-year-old, depends on, are we talking a 12-month-old, an 18-month-old? You know what I mean. But their level of awareness could be, if he had said, oh, Spencer and Monique are dead, even a 1-year-old might be able to say, what? Definitely the 4-year-old would have understood. That's why he's using language, in my opinion. Our friend, he appears dead. I can't get any closer to see more than that. I can't look. Depending on who these little children were.
I agree. And those poor kids, just think about those poor kids. How long they were in there crying is horrible to think about before anybody got there. Horrible.
Or child or whomever was around him. Of course, he didn't want them to see. He didn't really want them to know what had happened. He's not using any personal names. I understand a lot more now about what this situation was. And of course, now I understand too, as we'll listen, when they talk about the 3 males, where before I was like, is that related to a different call? What are they talking about? 3 males, an open door, an open window code, and stop them from doing that. I was like, wait, what are they talking about? We'll listen to that too. I was confused at first, but now I see it's indeed because Spencer and Monique's friends were inside the house. Alex, I believe, went inside first, but I don't know who he was with. He says, our friend, he appears dead. He's not using Spencer's name. And she's saying, has he been ill? That's when he says, no, I was just with him yesterday.
Oh my God.
So sad.
All fire and EMS operators are currently handling other calls. Please stand by for the next available
We got
operator.
patrol on the way, and then I'm transferring you over to the medics.
Home Division of Fire, what is the address of your emergency? 1411 North 4th.
Okay, 1411?
Yeah.
All right, the house apartment?
House.
All right, I mean, that's what's going on there.
There's a body. Our friend wasn't answering his phone. We just did a wellness check. We just couldn't hear him. He appears dead.
Okay.
So sad.
There's blood. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed, and there's blood. I can't get closer to see more than that.
Okay, you can tell he's obviously not breathing or anything.
Yeah.
Is it like kind of like like huddled, like does he look like?
It doesn't. I can't look.
Okay. All right. Understand.
I can't look.
When was the last time somebody spoke to him?
Like yesterday, I suppose.
Yesterday. Okay.
Yeah.
How old is he?
37.
37. Okay. Do you like a drug user or anything like that?
No.
Okay. All right. Just because that's a real young age.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. All right. We're on our way.
Okay, sir, can you stay on the line for a minute and can you give me your name?
Alex Diddy.
I'm sorry.
Alex Diddy.
Alex, how do you spell your last name?
Ditty.
D-I-T-Y?
Ditty.
Okay, and he is a friend of yours or you work with him?
Yeah. He's a friend. Yeah.
Okay, we do have officers responding there. Do you know if he's been ill or anything like that?
No, I was just with him yesterday.
Okay. Do you know if he does drugs or anything?
No.
Okay. All right. We'll just talk to the officers when they get there, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Who's saying there's a body inside?
Now the flurry of dispatch calls begins. So I think it sounds to me like Officer Troutman's voice. So she's saying, look, that call from earlier, they said they could hear children inside, kids inside. They're saying it's a body inside and heard one of them yelling. Now we're getting another call saying there's a body inside. And you can hear Troutman, it sounds like Troutman saying, who's saying there's a body inside? Kind of like, wait, how did I miss this,
Interesting, too. I thought that too, Marie. Yeah. Thought he was a co-worker.
1411 North 4th. Remember that incident from earlier, caller saying they can hear kids inside. Thought he heard one of them yelling. Now we're getting another call saying there's a body inside. Esther, getting copy.
Who's saying there's a body inside?
So that's him. He's like, because I knocked on the front and looked through the windows, but I didn't see anybody.
There's no name yet.
That's 3, I copy.
Okay, because I knocked on the front and door and I looked through the windows, but I didn't see anybody.
I don't know the timestamp of this because this dispatch audio is not what I got from Columbus Police. It's on Citizens. I love that app. It says, yeah, I'm going to have a double.
Anybody on scene with 4-1?
What we call it?
Yeah, I'm going to have a double.
I copy. Yes, if you can copy, they're saying it's a double.
I copy. I'll be in route.
Copy.
No, 4 round.
I copy.
Now, the first time, I believe in my first video, I think it was, when I said, wait, are they saying double homicide? I was even asking Chat GPT, would a cop say, yeah, I'm going to have a double? And even Chat GPT AI was all wrong. Oh, no, cops would never flippantly say, like, yeah, I'm going to have a double if they're referencing double homicide. They would be a lot more serious. They would say double homicide. They would say this, or they would say this code. They wouldn't say double. They would say, like, oh, they thought, oh, he's probably ordering something, a double cheeseburger or whatever. But no, literally, he's saying, yes, I have a double. And she's like, yeah, I copy. You're saying it's a double. And of course, they're being obtuse. They're being very vague because, of course, they don't want all of us hearing that right away. Now they talk about the back door.
There was a 7A on the back door. I had 3 males inside. They were doing a check, so someone can stop them. 43 admin.
Copy. Copy.
There was a 7A.
So if someone could stop them, yeah, because they're going to contaminate the scene, regrettably. As concerned as they are, I get that concern now. We got a double homicide inside, and we got 3 friends inside trampling all over the crime scene. That's a problem.
On the back door. So that means open door, the back door was open. Was that only open when the friends had already gone in? Is that how they entered? Do they have a code on the back door? Did they give their neighbor a key? Do they have a key? Or, sometimes a trusted neighbor, you might give your codes or a key to, or your garage door opener, whatever, in case of an emergency or something. Who knows? I mean, when I was pet sitting with my neighbor's dogs, they gave me their garage door opener. Trusted neighbor. So maybe, okay, did Spencer and Monique have a nearby neighbor who knew their code or had a way to access the door? Did anyone end up kicking it in? We still don't know. We don't have confirmation on any of that, but we have this cop saying there was a 7A on the back door. The back door must have been open. I have 3 males inside. They were doing a check so someone can stop them. So now they want them to stop. I get it. You don't want anyone contaminating your scene, especially the scene of a double homicide. But again, I don't blame the friends for making their way in. They probably had little trust that the police would even show up. Would they show up to the correct house this time? But anyway, I'm glad they kept calling. I'm glad they stayed on it. Heaven forbid, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old by themselves could have come to so much harm. They could have seen so much worse than maybe they didn't see anything. We don't know. Thank God for these friends. And so that's when the flurry of activity started. They took them seriously. The flurry of dispatch began.
4-1, if you can contact homicide.
Somebody can contact homicide for this.
Looks like there's going to be some casings and some wounds, gunshot wounds.
I copy. This is 43. I copy. I'll give them a call while I'm en route. And this is a double 43?
At least one.
Copy. Hey, 41, is there a gun on scene?
I'm trying not to disturb anything. I figure we let homicide do it. It looks like from just looking at the bodies, the one male's been shot multiple times. The female, at least maybe one through the side, through the chest.
Okay, but there's no
Through the
there's
side.
43 where it could be a 47.
It'll be under the tongue.
That's additional information. Through the side, not through the front chest. Through the side, through the chest. That's a distinction that's important, I think, because when the police had kept commenting through the chest at the heart, but it was through the side. It's very important, a very important distinction.
Oh, but he's, like I said, multiple times.
All right. 9170, do they have kids inside?
Okay.
Homicide has been informed, and they're getting everyone together and will be en route shortly. I copy. Homicide en route. 4, can we go on priorities?
3-4.
3-4.
We're going to be next door at 1415 with the children.
I copy.
43 just advised media is on scene.
Copy. Media on scene.
Hey, Nolan, you still back here?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is probably, I'm sure that they have everything figured out and everything, but when you get over there, can you do me a favor and let them know that there is, in fact, a camera at 4th and 8th and is facing that exact address? Now, did somebody from headquarters or somebody flip the camera around? It was facing the wrong direction? I can't.
Whoa, that's also some incredibly new information. They have a camera directly facing at that house. Did someone flip the camera, he's saying? Or face it the other way? Hey, Don, are you still back there? Yeah, go ahead. So this is probably, I'm sure that they have everything figured out and everything. But when you get over there, excuse me, can you do me a favor and let me know that there is, in fact, a camera at 4th and 8th and it is facing that exact address? Now, did somebody from headquarters or somebody flip that camera around? It was facing the wrong direction. I can't answer that, but at this moment, did this perpetrator turn the camera around? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let's keep listening.
Answer that. But at this moment, the camera is literally right there, and I can see the front door of the camera. There's a chance that it could have recorded the entire incident.
Yeah, I'm sure will.
9170, we copy that, sir.
Cool, thanks. I hope that it was, fixed there.
Yep, hopefully.
Whew. Now that back door open, I'm going to say it can be related to this fake news I want to debunk. You guys know I love debunking fake news. Spencer and Monique Tepe, as far as we know, there's been no evidence released of any argument with the brother-in-law, Rob Misla. I can't believe anyone who speaks out in a crime case. They become such a target. Now, Rob, I believe he's speaking out because I think, the family is like, Rob, you go out there, you be the face for the family, you update the public, a trusted brother-in-law. I mean, my goodness, I've seen so much shade thrown his way too. I hate it. Anyway, this fake news site is claiming, they had an argument with the brother-in-law about some financial matters and a door was left ajar. The door was left open. And normally I wouldn't even bring light to this kind of stuff, but I watched a live video yesterday on YouTube, and it was a seasoned retired policeman who fell for this. Some of these fake news places can be so convincing, unfortunately, that folks fall for them. Now, back in the day, we only had some crazy publications like the National Enquirer, kind of like those, even though they did break that John Edwards affair story, remember? Yeah, back in the day. Anyway, they would publish the crazy stories and you kind of knew the category you were dealing with. When you saw publications on the newsstand, if they're reporting about aliens or a man with 3 heads, you kind of knew not to believe them. But in this day and age of social media with so many different websites, I can see some people are falling for it. So this publication is spreading falsehoods and lies and even getting seasoned retired detectives to fall for it. So I just wanted to bring that up there because what these publications do, unfortunately, so masterfully is they'll take little snippets of the truth. Like, okay, this cop said that back door was open. I had a 7A on that door. They take snippets of the truth. They take some people's strange mistrust in the brother-in-law for some reason. They take that and combine it to make some grand story. The brother-in-law was arguing over finances and left the door open. So people see snippets of truth. They start conflating the fake story and think it's true when it's not. Debunked. But what is true is there is audio of that Tepe neighbor calling 911. It was only 11 days before the murders.
911, what's the location of your emergency? Okay,
Is there an apartment letter number?
No.
What's the emergency?
Somebody's knocking on my door. The bitch has to get in. They're banging on my door.
Okay, someone's banging and knocking. Do you know who this is?
No. I'm scared.
Do you have a description of them?
No, I can't see anything downstairs.
Have you told them, have you asked them what they want or if they need something?
No.
Okay, what's your name? I'm sorry, say it again.
Yes.
Does your phone number end in?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I've got it sent up for someone banging and knocking on the door. If anything escalates or changes, give us a call back and let us know. We'll get officers there as soon as we can. All right. Bye.
If you heard it, she was terrified. She was talking about someone banging on her door in the middle.
Okay. We watched that at the beginning of this live. If you missed that, go watch the beginning, because we watched that at the beginning. The police sheriff has now finally come out and said that 911 call was not Monique Tepe, even though it occurred in their home, from their home 9 months ago. It was not Monique. But now we're going to go into another deep dive from another channel. Let's watch this. Let's watch.
Callback traced to the Tepe's home at around 2:45 in the morning on April 15th, more than 8 months before the couple was shot and killed at the same address.
It might be ain't got it split, but I'm okay, I promise.
Did anything ever get physical?
No.
The family tells NBC News that's clearly not Monique's voice. Columbus police have so far declined to answer questions about the call.
But with cell phones, it's a lot different.
But former FBI Special Agent Brianna Fox tells us while the 911 call was traced to the Tepe's address, it's still possible the call was made from outside the home.
It could be somebody walking by out front. It could be a neighbor. It just means that that's their best guess at the time of an emergency situation.
News of the mysterious call as police say they're looking for a person of interest, seen here in this surveillance footage. Walking in the
Again, the Today Show listing this as a new twist in dentist death mystery. Again, I don't know why it's the new twist in the dentist death mystery. 2 people were murdered in their home with their kids there, and at least 1 dog, but authorities were saying 2 dogs based on the records from the call logs from the radio. Now, this new twist comes in when they're bringing in the fact this 911 call that we've already talked about. But here you're going to see a new person that's going to speak out, and it's Spencer's cousin.
alley near the Tepe's residence around the time of the double homicide. Hours later, the grisly murder scene was discovered by a friend checking on the couple after Spencer Tepe failed to show up for work.
There's a body. There's a body.
Police later located 2 adult victims suffering apparent gunshot wounds, as well as 3 spent 9mm casings, according to the police report. The couple's 2 children, ages 4 and 1, were inside the home and unharmed. Family members of the Tepes struggling to make sense of the tragedy.
They were, warm and welcoming and, handled each day with such enthusiasm. They were just,
So right here, Audrey, new police,
warm.
Audrey Mackey, cousin of Spencer Tepe, the first person other than Rob that I've seen come out and speak. So I wanted to show you guys that. This was just put out about 2 hours ago from the Today Show. Now, this live is to update us. I've been working on speaking with numerous people. I am local to Columbus, so I've mentioned this numerous of times that I actually had mutual friends with people that were friends with the victims. So I've been gathering as many people as I can to try to get any type of information. And here's what I want to bring to you guys today, which is, I believe, breaking. If you guys can check out the description of this video, you can see everything I'm about to talk about in an outline type form. Again, this, though, is the first person other than Rob to speak out that I've seen, and that is the cousin of Spencer.
And welcoming.
Audrey.
And, handled each day with such enthusiasm. They were just really kind and solid. They're a great couple.
Aaron, you mentioned a person of interest. Is there any more info?
Well, police say they believe the murders took place on December 30th between 2 and 5 a.m. in the morning. This person of interest that you see there in the surveillance footage was spotted in the area at the time. Authorities are urging members of the public who may have more surveillance footage to come forward. We know that surveillance footage can be absolutely critical to solving these cases. You may remember the Brown mass shooting. Surveillance footage.
All right, so here's your timeline here. Monique was married before Spencer, and in 2013, Monique was engaged to be married to Michael McKee, who was working to become Dr. Michael McKee. And so engaged in 2013. Now in 2015, in August, they would be married. And then September of 2015, they got married in Columbus at a Catholic church. In 2015, in September though, just that next month, a month after they would be married, they then moved together to Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia, the Virginia Tech area. And one of the many sources I've spoken to, one of them saying that for a month prior to moving there and buying that home in September, Michael was living in his car out there. So again, take that. Now, 2016, beginning in January through April of 2016, Monique opened up to her family about how miserable she was in Virginia. And it had a lot to do with her marriage and relationship, but also she leaves Columbus, where she obviously has her family, her friends, and goes to a city, an area where she's never been, and moves there. She's also going to then work from home remotely for Nationwide. And so she's an outgoing person. Her husband is an introvert, and she is basically home 24/7, and he's at work. So they're alone a lot. Her and Michael continued to grow apart, and they would fight. They had completely different political views. He, a conservative, and her not so much. Monique was an outgoing person, again, like I said, and he was an introvert. He liked things like the ballet and plays, and her not at all. Actually, like Monique, I prefer the short north arts and bar happy hour and nightlife. She did too. And she would go off socializing with her friends and her couple groups, with her group of girlfriends, to go down to the short north area. Monique knew she wanted to come home to Columbus, and she accepted the help of her family to move her back while Dr. McKee was at work. Her family rented a U-Haul and went down there, moved all over.
Thank you for sending it to me, honey. Thank you for sending it to me. We're going to do another video after this one, so everybody stay tuned. We're doing deep dives into Monique's ex-husband right now. Keep watching.
She then comes back, and this all happened while he was not there. Poof. Got it all done, gone. Yes, that means Dr. Michael McKee. He came back to an empty house after work. Again, only Monique and Michael know the whole truth on how it all played out. And if this was a stealth operation and, you know, a true, like, hey, we're going to help you, but we're going to do it stealth-wise. Leave while he's at work, pack all the stuff in the U-Haul, and we're out. We found out through divorce papers that Monique paid for her own wedding ring and engagement ring, at least a decent portion. Ouch. Not a good look on paper. Shit. Talk about an image killer. And most doctors are all about that image. At the time of their divorce, both of them were making roughly about $50,000 a year. Again, that's per the divorce paperwork. Now, TNT sources here, this is multiple independent sources. They claim that it was anything but a quick and easy divorce. Even though the filing happened, which would look quick on paper, Monique shared text messages with close friends during that separation and divorce period because Michael would not sign the divorce papers. Now, Monique moved back home in the spring of 2016. For the record, all sources that I talked to said that Dr. McKee, again, did not want this divorce. And in fact, two independent sources, after she left Virginia, she came back and was living for a little bit of time with her folks.
He did not want the divorce, is what she's picking up. This is truth and transparency. If you're just coming in, she's done a deep dive. She actually knows people who know the Tepes. She doesn't know them personally, but she knows 2 times removed people that were friends of theirs. So she's doing a deep dive, and she's saying her ex did not want the divorce before Spencer.
And while she was living with her folks for that short period of time, Michael would send her, whether it was a package or a card, and he would sign the cards, love your husband. Okay?
Wow.
I don't know what you guys think about that. After the divorce was finalized, Dr. Michael McKee deleted social media accounts, and some say he even changed his phone number. And no one that I have spoken with maintained any type of relationship with him, even though they were all mutual friends or buddies in the past, nor heard from him since. One source claimed that Monique mentioned that Michael said he was, quote unquote, never going to not be in her life. And that once he finished up school and received his $50K, normally doctors, surgeons, they're going to receive that signing bonus. And it was interpreted as that once I get my $500K, that he would buy a house right next to her. Literally, buy a house right next to her. That is what she told friends. This led to Monique claiming that she may need to get a restraining order down the road, if, and she used the phrase, if these delusional thoughts.
He would buy a house next to her. Wow, this is concerning. This is concerning.
Were to persist on him thinking that, what do you mean you're going to move next door to me wherever I live? When referring to the headspace that Michael was in at the time, it was like, this is just delusional that he thinks that what is he talking about? Again, that separation began in 2016. The divorce was finalized in June of 2017. All sources emphasize, and this is important, that Monique was very anxious, jumpy when she would be around him or because of him. And they use the term, like, he was a monster, which I don't know. She would never refer to his name. Anyways, she never wanted to speak to him or see him again. Full transparency, though, no source ever claimed that there was any physical violence between the two. There would just be he was notorious for silent treatments, and emotional. It was all emotional, silent treatments. After the divorce, I asked about, Monique dating other men, after Mike, but yet before meeting Spencer. I asked about those men as far as having any weird, offset, interactions. And those sources said that, well, a couple of them couldn't even name one of the people, but one of them said that maybe one person you can even consider maybe semi-serious, but they couldn't even give me names. So talk about so much for swiping right? Monique had friend groups from all stages of her life. This was a big part of our conversations, which was, she's had friends from when she was younger, then, high school, then college, then post-college, that she maintained. Whereas Dr. Michael McKee, he didn't. A source stated that no one has seen him in years, and I would doubt it if he has made a single significant connection since Monique, because Monique was his best friend. When people say, like, that's not just my wife, that's my best friend. And bros that I talked to was like, we didn't have bro time, he had Momo time. So take that for what you want. I did reach out to Dr. McKee, but have yet to receive any response. I will not. I just reached out once, and if he wants to respond, great. If not, great. In conclusion, I want to know what you guys think. With so many years being passed between, 2016, 2017 to now, it makes the most sense for me to think that Dr. McKee was just embarrassed by being divorced. He deleted his social medias and went on to have another life where he could escape the past huge letdown of losing his, best friend wife, moving out of the state of Ohio. And that therefore the only motive that I can see with the doctor and her ex here, Michael McKee, is in the way that Monique left him. What were the long-term effects from this Operation U-Haul stealth move? Monique back in the middle of the day or the night.
But don't forget, we've already covered here that they were also there was an argument over custody, but they're not his kids. Were they arguing over a dog? It doesn't make sense. They were arguing over custody of what is also very curious. She has yet to talk about that. I'm not sure if she's going to. Let's stay tuned.
Without a word, no talk, no closure, just poof, gone. And that's kind of what happened on December 30th, 2025. Poof, gone. Also, Dr. Michael McKee was adopted. Okay. And his parents were older. And so there was just him. So with that said, again, these are multiple sources that I have talked to over the days. I think you guys if you've been around this channel for a while, I would be spending a lot more time being live reporting or here in the office or out and about. And if you could tell, a lot of time has actually gone to, hey, pounding the pavement and talking to people and seeing what's up. And so therefore, obviously that cuts into a lot of time that's going to be like, out here, let's just talk about the case. No, let's just go find out what's going on. You know, are detectives reaching out to people? Are people reaching out to detectives? Think about it. Your friends know you the best. You know, your spouse knows you the best. Your family knows you the best. People from even like your past, how were things back in the day? You know, who could I possibly talk to that would ever have come in contact with both Monique and, you know, her ex? Like, and a lot of people didn't even know what his name was. That was like people that she had met down, you know, further past, who became friends after the fact. They didn't even know what his name was until this happened. So that's pretty interesting. So with that said, I just wanted to get that information out to everybody. And I'm just curious of the whole, you know, it's been so long. They didn't have any kids. If you read the divorce paperwork, I mean, there's no money. Okay. It's not like she got some, there's no financial thing I see there. But what I could see here is how did it leave him if she just up and leaves one day and it's like they never talked about this, but only those two know truly how it happened. But I thought it was interesting that when somebody in a relationship asks their family for help, when you're, especially when you're married, you want your family to like, you know, accept your relationship and like the person that you're with. The last thing that you do is you go tell mom and dad that, hey, so-and-so's doing this and that. And then they all of a sudden have some, it's just never going to be the same type of relationship. You try to protect that. So I think anytime that a daughter or a son goes to their parents to talk about marriage issues and, hey, I got to get out of this, you know, versus just you vent to your friends. Okay. When you go to your parents, you know, that's not who you usually, you're not venting to them. Right. Again. So I think it'd be a big thing that if I came home from work and poof, everything was just gone from my house that was the other person's that I'm married to. They're gone, their clothes are gone. And then, you know, personal effects that would have come before the marriage that they, you know, when we moved.
Okay, we're going to get into another video now. Because we're going to get more into the divorce here. She's talking about her thoughts and her opinions. We're going to get more into the nitty-gritty of the divorce here.
So lovely on social media, like this one from August 22nd, 2015, with people wishing the bride and the bridegroom all the best and their happiest wishes. Mrs. Monique McKee. Wonderful wedding, such a beautiful wedding, one person wrote. Another person exclaimed, congrats to Dr. and Mrs. McKee, wishing you many years of love and happiness. Sounds like an Al Green song, huh?
Yeah, we reported that here, Vicky, where I think I haven't heard anybody else talking about it, but Donna sent me an article where somebody was seen to have been talking with the Tepes outside their home for half an hour the night they were murdered. You're right. I'm waiting for validation on that because we've only seen it with one source. So I'm not 100% certain it's factual. That's just why I haven't repeated it. But let's watch these details.
But many times what we see on social media can differ wildly from what court documents show us if only we would take the time to dig deeper and verify what is true. Now, if that gorgeous bride looks familiar to you, there's a reason why. Before she was a Tepe, Monique was Mrs. McKee. Today is Wednesday, January 7th, as I'm filming this, and in the short time since the horrific deaths of Dr. Spencer Tepe and his wife, Monique Tepe, happened on December 30th in Columbus, Ohio, a lot of misinformation has been spread about Monique's ex-husband. And his name is already all over social media, with a lot of misinformation, unfortunately. Now, of course, all of us make mistakes. That's human. To err is human, to forgive is divine. But some folks are doing it intentionally. I mean, I just read one Facebook fake post where someone was claiming that the surviving 4-year-old, the Tepe's oldest daughter, beautiful little girl, They're already claiming, oh, she pointed to a picture of Monique's ex-husband and said, that's him, that's the one who did it. Now, of course, the Columbus Division of Police has released nothing like this. No wonder everyone's searching for Monique's ex. And since his name is all over the place, I want to clear up what I actually found about their marriage and divorce from official court records. Since his name is already all over the place, Michael D. McKee, unfortunately, there are a lot of men with that same name in Ohio. Some people are mistakenly conflating him with others with criminal records, whereas some people are intentionally creating these fake Facebook stories just to gain attention. Let me tell you, if you see a story like that on Facebook that is obviously fake, there's a way to report it as false information. Hopefully it'll make these people go away. It's already enough hurt and confusion and sadness with this case. They don't need to start creating fan fiction around what the 4-year-old allegedly said to police when no one knows that at this point. It's still under investigation. The culprit has not been found, as far as we know at this point, more than 1 week later. And some of these people on Facebook creating these crazy stories, they don't care about a hill of beans that a man's name might be dragged through the mud, slander, libel. Perhaps they don't care. I don't even know if they live in this country. They just want a hot story. Some people have just inadvertently mixed up Mike McKee with other men with the same name without comparing the birth dates or the addresses, ascribing crimes to him, to the real Dr. Mike McKee that the court doesn't even reflect. But by verifying the correct date of birth from Mike McKee, I was able to determine he's not the man with some long criminal history, nor is he the man who married another man shortly after divorcing Monique. And he doesn't live in Whitehall. Now, I received a 55-page document surrounding the entire divorce of Monique Tepe and Mike McKee. I want to put out verifiable facts.
We did actually hear he married another man, so I'm glad that we're getting that clarified. We're going to watch the remaining of this video. It's got 30 more minutes to it, and then we're going to call it a day today. So 30 more minutes of really great insight here into the Spencer and Monique Tepe case. And then we'll be back Sunday night, 4 p.m. Eastern for more true crime. Keep watching.
That's all we have right now, because this other kind of information or misinformation that some people have put out either mistakenly or intentionally could literally ruin a person's career and his life. So in an effort to clear up this confusion and to stop slander, I received from the court official documents via a public records request. Court documents from this file number, the case number 17DR1691. There's a PDF I received. It's 55 pages. If you want to download it, you can do it at the link below. I'm not going to put necessarily a ton of the document on the screen because I'm not going to dox anyone. But there are some interesting aspects to this divorce between Monique Frances Sabaturski, now known as Monique Tepe, and her former husband, Michael David McKee. One of the first things that really stands out is that it was an extremely short marriage. Even though Monique and Michael can be seen in social media photos as far back as 2012, their friends were talking about going to the Nutcracker, they were in photos together, their marriage was really brief. And I haven't found any evidence like people are saying, Monique was with Spencer in one photo and her ex-husband in another photo, all hugged up together. People are taking certain photos without verifiable facts and just running with it. But the facts I was able to find via social media and court documents, they indeed married on August 22nd, 2015, and they separated just 7 months later, March 16th. So even though Monique and Mike had dated at least as far back as 2012, they apparently knew each other years before getting married that August 22nd, 2015 day. They were separated 7 months later, March 2016. We don't know why. They will provide a standard reason in this document. Monique filed for divorce. She had a lawyer. Her ex, Michael, he was pro se, he represented himself. The official divorce proceedings began May 2017. They were quickly finalized by June 2017. And we learned little snippets like Monique literally paid for her own rings. So there's an affidavit of property we'll go over. Monique listed her engagement rings, her wedding rings as separate property. It was not a marital asset. And when they're asking, well, why? She wrote, I paid for both the engagement ring, $2,500, and the wedding ring, $3,500. Wow, so she shelled out $6,000 for her own rings. And when we get into...
Wow, that's a doctor. That was a doctor she married, and she bought her own rings. That's interesting. Interesting.
Salaries, it's kind of surprising that the doctor's salary isn't as high as I thought it would be. Now, of course, this was a while ago. We are talking more than 10 years ago this marriage happened. So we might ascribe certain tendencies when we see a beautiful bride and we see, oh, Dr. McKee, and you see a gorgeous wedding ring, an engagement ring. We might quite assume, oh, wow, she married a doctor, they're rich now, and he was able to get her these fabulous rings. Well, life can be different than what we imagine it to be. Monique even used a private judge for secrecy and speed to get this divorce done. Whatever happened, where they separated 7 months after marriage, Monique was done. She wanted it done quickly. So instead of waiting for the standard court docket, they hired this private judge. The case was referred to a Judge Donald A. Cox to oversee the final hearing. I didn't even know this could be done. I had to look it up. The motion states they hired him, quote, in order to conduct the hearing, quote, in a more private setting, at a more convenient time. That's why the divorce was able to be finalized in just 6 weeks.
A private judge. And we also heard from the other video we just watched that her ex was still did not want a divorce, was saying things like signing off your husband and claiming he would move next door to be close to her. Very interesting.
After their initial complaint was filed. So we're going to look at one curious entry too. It's this high interest debt repayment in their separation agreement. It's strangely specific and punitive, this financial clause. It says Monique had to pay Michael exactly $1,281.59 for reimbursement of miscellaneous debt. We don't know what it is. But he went on to say if she did not pay it back by July 1st, 2018, interest would accrue at a rate of 23%, which is pretty high. We also learned from this filing, this group of documents, that when they filed for divorce, they lived in totally different states. Monique was living in Westerville, Ohio. She worked for Nationwide. I brought that up in my previous video. I think the first one I did about the Tepes. I saw she worked for Nationwide. Even though people are saying she has a background in education, at some point, even Monique wrote in her filing, she was working at Nationwide. Now, at the time of the filing, Michael was living in Roanoke, Virginia. He was working for this Caroline clinic. And here's a big one. We'll go over the standard mutual restraining order. It's a standard mutual temporary restraining order issued upon filing. So it's pretty boilerplate in divorce cases, pretty standard to prevent people from selling off their assets. And they don't want people to harass each other. Don't interfere with each other. Don't assault each other. Don't do bodily harm while you're going through this divorce. People have turned this into, on social media, I see all the time, did you know Monique took out a restraining order on her ex? And they're running with it without just simply Googling what these terms could mean. We will also take a look at Monique's usage of her name. Now, Monique is referred to in this document by her maiden name, Monique Frances Sabatersky. So even though on social media, it's like, congrats to Mrs. Monique McKee. In the court filings, her name is not actually Monique McKee. She probably didn't even have time to change her name since they were married so briefly, separating 7 months after marriage. What egregious thing could have happened for them to separate so quickly? So we're going to review the highlights. Again, if you want to go over all the details, it's 55 pages worth. It's a lot. You can download it below. This document is a full packet from their 2017 divorce case file from this Court of Common Pleas, Domestic Relations Division in Ohio. Monique is the plaintiff. Michael is the defendant. I gave you the case number. There was an initial judge, Elizabeth Gill, but they transferred over to the private judge. One thing that's important is the separation agreement. I noted it said both parties have made full disclosure of their financial situation, and the parties waive any interest in the other party's retirement plans. So that's one important note also because of all these rumors flying around. Again, I won't mention anything that I can't verify with court records or with police coming out and saying it. We have only seen at this point one video of a person of interest, not even a suspect. And I know people are running wild with who they think that pigeon-toed walker could be, whether it's a friend or a coworker. People are pointing fingers all over the place. There's nothing wrong with sleuthing. Don't get me wrong. I know detectives have to examine every area, but it crosses a line to me in this situation when people begin putting outright falsehoods out there about a person like Monique's ex-husband. And let me tell you, there are some people who are not stable out there who will take it and run with it, try and track down her ex or something and believe the fake stuff they've seen on social media. Anyway, we're going to go through this briefly. Their complaint for divorce, waiver of service, their income and expenses, how much they were making, real estate tied to the deal, all these cars, their estimated mortgage value, this address that's linked to Mike on Verona Trail as of 2017, and all their cars, a pretty asset-heavy marriage, but not, totally. They weren't balling out. Michael's employer listed back then, Monique's employer, the debts and everything of this short-term marriage, which is important because Ohio treats short-term marriages differently in terms of dividing property and, of course, support. It's not like they were married 20 years. You know, this will verify they didn't have any kids. They weren't married like 20 years and he's like paying her alimony or child support or anything like that. The waivers signed and all that kind of stuff. It's important to clear up fact from fiction. And now this report does not include any police reports, any claims of abuse, no criminal allegations. It is strictly a civil case, domestic relations, talking about divorce, property, financial disclosures, and that's it. So
before we continue on, everybody watching, could you please take the time to thank the moderators who are doing an amazing job here today on Saturday, January 10th, while we finish watching this video. Thank you.
Let's dig in, see what we can find. It opens up page 1. It's a clerk's notice of this hearing. The hearing was set for Thursday, June 15th, 2017. Early, this was before the Honorable Judge Elizabeth Gill. So this was something before the private judge took over. And we just see Monique, we see Michael's name, the complaint has not previously been found, we see handwriting, we see confidential disclosure of personal identifiers. And of course, they've redacted a lot. We're not going to see their social security numbers in here or things like that. But one thing we do see, which this was it for me, this was confirmation I had been waiting on from the court. We will see Michael David McKee's, I knew his address previously back then, but we will see his date of birth. And that's related to June 29th, which is not the date of birth of the other Michael D. McKee that people are confusing Monique's ex-husband with. That was it for me. In essence, it talks about Monique. She's the plaintiff. She was a resident of this county in Ohio for more than 90 days, and how she married Michael August 22nd, 2015. They have no children.
Thank you, Wendy.
No children, and Monique is not currently pregnant. So for all the rumors that, oh, could the 4-year-old child, could that have been Michael's child? And all these other rumors, was she pregnant after their divorce? Or I don't know. It doesn't seem like it pans out. They were living apart. Monique states that the parties are incompatible. That's pretty much it. There's one more description coming up. Monique is requesting an absolute decree of divorce from Mike, an equitable division of property and everything, whatever's just and equitable. So Mike acknowledges legal representation. He understands this woman represents Monique and not him. And he knows he has the right to retain his own attorney, but apparently he didn't. And it seems, for the most part, a pretty clear-cut, it wasn't this divorce that took years and going back and forth and battling over every toothpick, which, I don't blame her. You want it clear cut and over with. That's how I wanted my divorce, years ago. So Michael just signed this waiver of service. He's like, okay, I'm over 18. I know what I'm doing. I found this part interesting. The affidavit of income and expenses. He worked at that Caroline clinic. And apparently after this point, from what I gather, Dr. Michael McKee graduated in 2020 from this Caroline clinic's general surgery residency program. So this wasn't until later. During his residency, he was noted for his work at the Caroline Roanoke Memorial Hospital. Supposedly, he's currently practicing as a vascular surgeon at a different cardiovascular institute. So take that with a grain of salt. That's not what's in the court document. The only thing in the court document is that Michael, he's the spouse. At this point, he worked at Caroline Clinic. So many times even AI, of course, and Google can be wrong because of fake news. Like if you Googled, oh, the Tepe's 4-year-old daughter, did she really, point to a photo of the ex-husband and, say he's the one? Well, Google at this point, as I'm recording, will tell you, yeah, that happened only because some fake news site created that story. But back then, these court documents list his income as $49,000 for both 2014 and 2015. And by 2016,
$49,000 as a doctor. That's incredible. Plus all the debt he would have. Wow.
His income was $51,000. Now, remember, this is the beginning of their marriage. They were young. He didn't have as much experience as he does now as a surgeon, So he hadn't even graduated, I guess, from that general surgery residency program at that point. I'm sure he makes a lot more now, but his base yearly income was $51,000 back then. And I was surprised it was so low, but I was thinking, oh, they were young and just getting started basically in their careers, I'm sure. Now, Monique, for her affidavit of income and expenses, she again notes the date of the marriage, August 22nd, 2015, the date of separation, March 2016. So that's only 7 months, very, very, very short. Monique's employer is listed as Nationwide in Columbus. And so she's showing her income. For 2014, it was $32,000. For 2015, it was $35,000. For 2016, it was $41,000. And her base income was $50,000 because unlike her husband, she was able to estimate overtime commissions and or bonuses. Estimated over the last 3 years, an average was $10,300. So she added that on to her base salary. So actually it was pretty equitable. They were both making back then, I'll just say around $50,000 per year. So it's not like one was making, $1 million and one making much less. So she signed all of that. Again, giving you the highlights, they talk about the present fair market value of the home, nearly $220,000, only $4,500 in equity, probably because it was newly purchased, I believe. They thought, okay, that's low equity. Again, it was a couple just starting out. They list 4 different vehicles. It's like, whoa, the husband, 2 of them belong to him. A 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee and a 2007 Jeep Patriot Limited. Back then, the wife had the more expensive car, the 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee, worth about $20,000. Monique had a 2008 Toyota RAV4, only worth about $4,000. So I don't know why they had so many cars, if they just love cars, were some of them for off-roading or what, but that happens. Now we get to the point, categorizing separate property claims. So Monique is making sure to say the vehicle, the 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee, she wrote, I paid. So it's worth about $7,000 here, it says. That jewelry, the engagement ring, the wedding ring, I paid $2,500, $3,500. So she's basically saying, look, I paid for those. It's not like he just gave me these rings, a few months ago or years ago or whatever. Look, I paid for those. The mortgage, again, they're talking about the payments, about $1,300 a month, not outlandish. Credit card debt, at least for the husband, because that's what the mortgage debt is under. I don't know if the mortgage was only under his name. That's what some people are wondering about Monique and Spencer. If the house is just listed under Spencer's name, they're going back and forth about what that means, or is her name on there anywhere. Anyway, for this mortgage, it's listed under the husband. The husband is checked and the monthly payment says like $1,300. The husband's credit card debt is listed at only $3,800. So not much debt, I guess, there. Now, some stuff is checked off as unknown. A lot of stuff is checked off as unknown when it comes to the husband. It does say the address of this Roanoke, Virginia home, worth about $230,000 back then, titled to the husband. The balance of the mortgage is unknown. The equity is listed as unknown. Maybe they figured it out later when we saw that, equity. And we see the wife, her vehicles don't know really the value, and the husbands don't really know the value of one of his vehicles. Now, this is where we get into a lot of unknowns. I don't know if this part Monique filled out, but I get it if you keep your finances separate. Her 5th, 3rd checking and savings account are listed. Wife, over $2,000 in checking, about $1,600 in savings. Now, the husband's, Mike's, back then, listed as Huntington checking and savings, unknown. So she didn't know, which I can understand, what the heck was in his checking and savings account. If you don't share a joint account and you can't just see it right there, who knows? The same with the pensions and retirement plans. Husband, unknown. Any publicly held stocks, bonds, securities, mutual funds? Well, the wife says none, while the husband says unknown. So I don't know if she was feeling.
Wow. Was he hiding things from her? I don't want to put anything out there, but it just makes you wonder, was he holding money back and hiding it? Why all the unknowns? You think he really didn't know? I doubt it.
Out this part and just didn't know. So any closely held stocks, other business interests, the wife's is none, the husband's is unknown. So I'm not sure if he didn't fill out that part or he didn't offer that information. As far as life insurance, Monique says none. I only have group life through work, so that makes sense. Estimated only about $35,000 policy. The husband's unknown. So I'm not sure if she filled this out and he wasn't willing to give her that info, or if he provided it later or what. Now, in terms of furniture and appliances, I saw the wife said none. And then the husband says all kitchen appliances. His are estimated at $5,000. Now I can understand that if she moved into his home, then she wouldn't necessarily have any furniture and appliances to claim. Or she might be like I was, my first marriage, going through a divorce. I was like, okay, whatever, we bought these Jennifer convertibles, sofas, well, I probably purchased them or whatever together. I don't care, just take them. Like, I'm not going to fight you over furniture. I'm not going to fight you over a couch. I don't want a divorce to be delayed over a stupid couch. Safe deposit box. Monique checked none. She has none. Husband unknown. So that's one thing I did find interesting. There are a lot of unknowns for the husband. This is the prior husband, of course, we're talking about. In terms of transfer of assets, Monique none. Husband unknown. Other assets, all assets, other assets, it just says none. Separate property claims, none. Now they're talking about the wife, Monique. She has a car, secured debt through Huntington. She paid about $330 a month. She also had a student loan through Mohila or something like that. It was about nearly $35,000 loan.
If you're just coming in now, Michelle, nice to see you. You might want to rewind. We're going through some crazy, interesting stuff on this Spencer and Monique Tepe case today. We're an hour and 40 minutes in, and we have only another 10 minutes to go, and we're going to wrap it up. So you might want to go back on the rewind, my dear. There's some great information at the beginning of this
Also showed her credit card debts through Chase and Citibank. Well, it says about $6,500 and about $4,000. So the total section of debt is about $60,000. So that's including, the student loans and the cars and all that. Did they ever file for bankruptcy? It says none. So it's not like they filed. So we're already almost halfway done, because here now we get to the separation agreement. Parties were married again in Columbus, August 22nd, 2015. No children were born. And it says differences have arisen between the parties and they're now living separate and apart from each other. They want to, separate, claiming again, both parties have made full disclosure of their financial situation and their property. I bring that up because there's more entries on their divorce record. This was finalized, back in 2017. So it's like, what are these other entries in 2025? Allegedly, supposedly, they were mistakes or something or whatever. We've heard that in true crime cases. I don't really know what those entries are. I haven't confirmed them myself with the court. Who knows? But it's talking about all the rights after you separate. Right to privacy, their individual residences, whatever. Basically, you guys are separating. Husband and wife are free from interference, authority, control, divide the property up. Now, it does indeed say that that home on Verona Trail is currently titled in the husband's individual name, free and clear of any claim of wife. And it says Mike represents the mortgage debt is held solely in his name. He shall pay, indemnify, and hold wife harmless on any debts associated with the marital residence. They're talking about their personal properties have been split up and their cars will belong to whomever they belong to. It's kind of easy. I won't say easy, but when you're talking about a marriage that's only, 7 months, you don't necessarily have all this time to blend so many assets together. Free and clear accounts were already separated, no safe deposit box. Now, here's the point. It says, wife shall pay, indemnify, and hold husband harmless of the following debts in her name: the Chase credit card, the Citi credit card, student loans, any debts listed in her individual name she has incurred. Makes sense. But it says wife shall pay the sum of that $1,281.59 to husband for reimbursement of miscellaneous debt. What could that be? And if she didn't pay it to him by July 1st, 2018, the interest would accrue, it's weird, from 2 years prior to that deadline at a rate of 23%. So I hope she paid him that back, because, whoa, that's high percentage. I don't know what it was about, though. So, in essence, student loans aren't his or anything like that, or they're, separate. Everything's separate. No spousal support. It says neither party shall pay spousal support to the other. And the attorney's fees, it says the parties shall each pay their own attorney's fees. The wife is going to pay the filing fee, $206. I remember I paid the filing fee in Illinois for my divorce, but I didn't know about this private judge. There's a private judge fee for $185 the wife is paying to dissolve this marriage, and it'll be paid before the final hearing. So I guess that's kind of cool. Retired judges can still, be hired as a private judge just to take care of something like this. Life insurance, they'll retain their own policies free and clear of each other. They will file their own separate tax return for tax years 2016 and forward, no longer filing joint, married. They will seek their own legal counsel. And it says if any part of this agreement is found to be invalid, the rest of the agreement will remain valid and fully enforceable. So again, they're all signing to all this agreement. And this is when they hired the retired,
Marie, I think you made a typo, but Marie's comment, yes, you might want to watch this live more than once. There's great information in this. Go back to the beginning. Vicky says, I remember from my divorce, you both fill out the paperwork yourself. Mike, you've done the same. Yeah, he did the same, but why unknown? Do you think he really didn't know his own financial situation as a doctor? I doubt it.
I'll refer this matter over to the retired Judge Donald A. Cox for trial in its entirety. Trial shall be scheduled expeditiously as possible, pursuant to the agreement of the parties. So they're like, let's move forward. And it looks like they didn't stand in each other's way. It looks like, okay, yeah, it wasn't contested. It wasn't this long drawn out thing. Like, you hate to see some divorces take so many years. But no, everything's signed off on, agreed upon this new judge. Monique will pay him. Lickety split, get her done. And this standard mutual temporary restraining order, it's just ordering the same stuff we talked about. Look, don't damage each other's stuff. Don't move money around. Don't, make things look differently than they already are. Don't send anyone to the hospital. It's so much standard stuff. It's mutual. It's for each other. So all the people talking about her restraining order against him, it's just not true unless there is some separate restraining order that people can produce and show you legally on the screen and show you where they got it from and it's official. No, I'm just looking.
But there is a mutual restraining order, which both of them have a clause in there, which I believe she's suggesting is just typical language in any divorce. And I would suspect it is.
at this standard mutual restraining order, signed by the judge electronically, and then being referred to a different judge, a private judge. Then there's this checklist for this proceeding without children, the dissolution of this marriage, the fact that they were all served. Again, no children, Monique wasn't pregnant. It just says the parties are incompatible, and as such, the wife is entitled to a divorce. It is therefore ordered, adjudged, and decreed. The marriage contract terminated. It says a decree of divorce is awarded to wife on the grounds of incompatibility. We are just incompatible. Now, what that word really means, who knows what literally happened? Of course, like most divorces, it could be all sorts of drama that went on behind the scenes, but I'm not going to make anything up beyond what Monique said in this court documents, the grounds of incompatibility. Certain states are fault divorces or no fault divorces. And of course, people married longer or people really getting into it might hire private eyes and show proof of cheating if that impacts things. Or like a Georgia divorce, they can literally go to trial. Kim Zolciak and Croy, and those drag on for years when there's plenty of assets, a lot of debt, a lot of emotions and all that. This obviously wasn't that. Anything that happened beyond this, when I get more documents, anything outside of civil documents, of course, I will bring that to you, but I can't just make assumptions or make things up out of thin air like I see some people doing just for views or excitement or some are just misled. I get it. But others, like on Facebook, are intentionally besmirching this man's name. I don't.
Okay, everybody. That's what we have for you today. I decided it was the information on these 4 videos we just showed you was too important because at the very beginning from this start of this live, we got some clarification on some of the details in this case that the police commissioner just came out to give us that are not accurate, not related to the case. We get new details from the very beginning of this show, this live. So thank you. It was impromptu, but I will be back Sunday, January 11th. That's tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. We will probably cover more Tepe, Jack and Lilly, Gus Lamont, and I'm going to put a survey up today on what other case do you want to cover tomorrow night, Sunday, and this week coming up, okay? Thank you, everybody who came in. I really appreciate you. Do all the YouTube-y things. We will see you Sunday night at 4 p.m. Eastern. Love and light.